Hello, hello.
Hi, it almost took a minute or so before YouTube made the go live button pressable. Very weird. Anyway. Hi.
Good evening. Magandang gabi sa inyo lahat. Konbanwa.
My name is Anzu and I'm an apricot
that delivers packages from me to you. Howdy, partner.
Alright, so we're back to our detective in Nisu.
Hi.
So we're at the third case wherein there's like this whole exhibition thing and something went wrong. And yeah, basically we're continuing the investigation of this part.
Ka-chonk.
Oh no, I don't remember where we were.
Dito.
Oh, October 30? Was it November 6? I think that's the last one.
Kore desu ka? You know what? Let's just press continue.
Now the real question, do you remember where you left? No, I don't. No, just joking. I remember. Because the thumbnail helped me remember. We're going to go and investigate this one, Madame Two Spells. So I did press this off stream so I would see a thumbnail image that I could use. Hi. But I didn't know anything besides how the area looked like. Alright.
So Madame Two Spells.
Why is it Two Spells? Museum of Interesting Waxwork exhibits not far from Baker Street. It's become a very popular London attraction in recent years.
Oh. Ikimasu.
th 22nd October, Madame Two Spells Museum of Waxworks.
Ka-chow! Ka-chow! Oh, my thumbnail.
Yeah, until there, that's all I saw. What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. But why are all the people so still?
They're wax dummies. Yeah.
Guillotines! Ruthless murderers! I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight.
They're all wax models! They're amazingly realistic, aren't they?
Wait. Hold on, I think I know the reference to this.
Guguru.
Realistic Wax Museum. Isn't it that one lady who's known for making like really realistic wax figures of celebrities and people? There, Madame Tussauds, I think. Oh yeah, because this one's Two Spells, so I guess it's a reference to that.
Mora. Okay. What do you think, Bruno? Shocked?
Wax models? I've read about dead bodies and wax ones in the magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn to wax, apparently. It's called oh no, I don't have to.
Adipocere? Adipocure? What is that word? Adipocere? What is this? Nani kore?
Adipocere.
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 Adipocere. Okay. Adipocere. Hora.
Wait, I have another reference that comes to mind. What was that? It's a movie. House of Wax? The one with Paris Hilton. I believe it was a 2005 movie. I've watched it many times. It's a guilty pleasure for some reason. Wherein like there's, I think, these two brothers who were conjoined twins before. And then they ended up like basically entrapping everybody in wax. So it looks like an abandoned place, but in reality, if you scratch like the wax covering of the statues, it's actually flesh. So it's like the people are actually alive in it. I remember that so fondly somehow. Nani kore?
Stop talking about creepy things like that, Runo. You're scaring me. Anyway...
Oh no, it's the word again.
Adipocere or something.
Ah!
What now?
I just remember something else I read in another magazine. So what you're saying is everything here is alive? Who knows? Maybe if you poke it, it actually has people inside. There was an old lady, maybe a witch who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display.
Go poke it? Okay, let's a pokey.
I wish we could.
None of the exhibits in here are real.
Are you sure?
They're all entirely man-made replicas.
Are you sure, Iris? Are you sure? They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them.
Oh.
I think that was a... There's no way anybody could make models of people that are this realistic. Sholmes. It's Sholmes. Well, I guess if you poke Sholmes, he's alive. I think this is a reference to Jack the Ripper. And then the one with the lady who was with the bathtub. Maybe it's Elizabeth Bathory, the woman that was said to kill young women and bathe in their blood for eternal youth. And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait.
What is it?
No. I must be seeing things. Wait, there's an arm in the curtain. Look. Whoa. Maybe it's a fake arm. Statues available. Please inquire.
Oh. Oh, that's a funny place for a little ladder. What is it? Is something wrong?
No, it's just that in Japanese we have a totally different word for a ladder that folds in half like that.
We do in English too, you know. It's a stepladder or just steps. So be careful of making assumptions about other cultures, Runo. That's how wars are started.
I didn't realize stepladders were an international point of contention. But the writer makes an astute point.
Jack the Ripper.
Is this an example of Western tsujigiri? Tsujigiri, that word sounds familiar. Just a moment. I feel like I know it, at the same time I forgot. Yabe kore! Jack the Ripper was never caught for what I remember. And then... I think he targeted prostitutes and kinda went for their wombs or something like that. Tsujigiri, attacking a passerby with a sword.
Ah, naruhodo. Naruhodo. Wakaru, wakaru. I don't know what that is.
Oh, they explained it anyway. You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword?
I still don't know. No. But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model it, do you think, Runo? Doing that Tsuchigiri thing you mentioned?
Oh, well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least. Kirisatsuga? Maybe. Okay, I don't want to press Shomes just yet. I want to look at the other stuff. Please do not touch the statues. Oh man, we can't poke it then. That sucks. Is this some famous murderer?
Yes, called Jane the Ripper. All her victims were young women.
Oh wait, this is the Jack the Ripper reference? Oh, Hako. Okay. I knew it! You can tell by the way she's holding that knife. Sure sign of a murderer.
Hello, Exmoto. Welcome.
Irashai? No, I'm not a shop. Nani kore?
Well, yeah.
Ah!
What's the matter, Runo?
I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore.
Not according to the information about the exhibit on the little board here. It doesn't mention anything about the bathtub.
Oh, so it even references. Yeah, I guess they're all mixed up as a joke.
Hi, good evening.
Really?
Sorry, I don't think it's significant.
I still think it has to be there for a reason. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. You see how the woman holds the knife? Ano, that's how I get a kitchen knife from the knife rack or holder. You know, like that piece of block where all the knives are just inserted into slots. Ever since I was a kid, I don't know, maybe exposure to horror movies. If I pull out a knife, it's like that. I don't know why. Until now, I tried to lessen the habit, but every time I pull it out, I still hold it that way. Anzu's mass murder confirmed. No! Oh, it's the same dialogue. I don't know. I have always taken the knife out from the rack that way. I don't know why. My only assumption or guess would be maybe from all the horror movies I used to watch as a kid. I don't know. I love it. I'd be that person with a knife. Or something like that. Nah, so far I haven't had a manic laughter from it. No, but yeah, I always get comments about it. These models are so well made, I can't tell what's a waxwork and what's real human.
Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving about.
You mean like the night at the museum? Just thinking about it makes me wish it was closing time already. And I was on my way home. Oh, I thought the policeman is real, so he's also wax. Okay. It's the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here? Really?
Well, he is world famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? It makes my skin crawl to look at it.
I know! But look, Bruno, you can kick this Hurley and he doesn't move a muscle.
You can't go around kicking the exhibit's Iris. Oh shit! It's not a statue! Iris! It just moved! I'm sure! And not just a little bit either.
Huh? Really? Did it?
And look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. And while the eyes moved, shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing.
Hold it!
Wait, Nani? Wait, did I change the audio into English? That was different. Maybe I did.
Oh well.
My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes! I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? Oh, I changed it last time? Ah, okay. And that kick! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me! Or was it winded?
But Bruno has something he needs to ask you.
Ah, a question.
And I thought you'd probably be getting bored too. So here we are!
So that means she knew it was really him and kicked him with all her might. I love you, Iris. And well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more being stationary like there, and my great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss.
Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you?
Damn, she's burning him. He could know something, it's true. Dangerous to be born. About Lord Van Zieks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For you're in luck. I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well actually I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. But how could it be? Yeah, I switched Sholmes back to the Western clothing. We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow, but for now I must return to my work. What? Back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? Is he trying to run away from our questionings? What is this place? Too weeb? Yeah.
Hey, maybe you should try dressing up like that, Zudi.
Would be a funny sight, I think.
Eh, nani kore?
My OBS is haunted! Ah, nani kore? It moved on its own. Hurrah! Madame Two-Spells came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people. Are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Stoespels family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. Oh, that sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expression of the faces of the condemned.
Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions.
Oh, that really turns my stomach. That's just one of several legends about the Stoespels family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin is this House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition, but people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So they're even stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. Well, I would say reality TV is a good example. So, the hideous exhibits in here are...
They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place.
Is it just me or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh, he's back to being waxwork, isn't he?
He's a waxworker.
Konbanwa, Nishimiya-san. Daijoubu da yo? What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half an hour, I home in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them a hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us. Oh my god, he's basically charging people for a photo. Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here?
Yeah, you got ambush. Ambush.
Well, it is something you must get used to, of course. It is something that happens often, or now and then. But why, Mr. Sholmes? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! He really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent, and I have the revenues iris to consider.
Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry.
Well, she is a growing child. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What's he threatening to rope me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. Back to being a waxwork again. Is it just me or did his final remark there sounded a lot like a curse? You want her voice and autograph. 10 squats to be stronger.
Nah, that would not be enough. Definitely.
So let's ask about Lord Van Zieks. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zieks. Oh, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. You were covered with peaches? Nah! And so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I learned. About Lord Van Zieks, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Zieks such a different person.
I was sure that you'd know, Hurley.
You should do lunges everywhere you go for a day. Your legs will fall off and then you don't need to worry about leg day. Nice one. You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before. That something was afoot. And that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. Well, it seems I've reached the unavoidable. Greetings. Oh! Oh, hello. Where did she appear from? I like her design. I like her design. I'm pretty sure she's cute. And what's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious? I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we? Oh, I'm falling in love. Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again. Her smile is so pretty. My apologies. I am Esmeralda Two Spells. This is my museum of waxwork. You're the Madame Two Spells? Oh no, I can't. I don't know how to pronounce French fries. I'm so sorry. Ano, Google, help me. Yabe kore. How do you say this thing? Eto. Bien sûr, ça? Ma'am, sir? What? How does one say this?
Bien sûr.
What?
Bien sûr.
Sir.
Bien sûr.
Yes, sir.
Bien sûr. Bien sûr.
Okay, well, they're only 26 years young, I might add. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is that significant somehow? I'm a madame name only. It adds a certain... Oh no! What is this word? Okay, oh, I don't know how to pronounce these things. Google, help me. Kore wa nani? I'm going to guess it's je ne sais quoi, but I don't know. I feel like this is wrong.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. Oh, that's cute.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. Wow, I'm learning. Oh, sure. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks, or rather one waxwork in particular. That'll be Mr. Sholmes now. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle.
Oh, okay, but...
Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble.
Urama. She sounds deadly serious.
And that's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Shomes about Lord Van Zeeks now?
Let's not forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot right here in the museum, I mean.
Yes, I know, but...
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
Haven't we got enough on our plate already? She cute! She cute! I like her. I like her. She cute! Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Two spells? I did. I am the 3rd generation of waxwork artisans, you know.
Gosh.
Gosh. It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were... checkered? I'm just gonna read this checkered. Screw English. Living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Though that is when she acquired the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing lifelikeness.
All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley.
She's cute. Can I take her home? What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people on which they are modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to the extraordinary lifelikeness. I don't know if she's supposed to sound younger or higher pitched. Do let me know. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? Do not fear. Sorry? This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it.
Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things. Quite honest and play as for me. So this me. Fishy? Fishy, fishy. Hello, the negative.
Hello there, 3rd meme lord.
Welcome, welcome. You're the Waxumusayon.
Let me pour hot wax all over you and add you to the collection of this exhibit. That would be wonderful. You'll be the most lifelike one. See? What's the situation with that? Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what this false exhibit needs is the addition of a world-famous great detective. Or words to that effect. Huh? Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Shomes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's a great detective actually. He's very specific about it. Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms. Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services? For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment.
Shoka.
All words to that effect. Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead. Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing though. Does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent. I have a 50 shilling problem that must be resolved by this morning. 50 shillings? All words to that effect.
It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem.
Is the consulting detective work not going so well? She's so cute. I'm so sorry. I will hold my love in. I wonder, could I ask you something? Oh no, it's the word I couldn't pronounce. Bien ça. I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps?
Wa. Dotto dotto dotto.
Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh, he's gone. Oh, he disappeared. Oh, who's this one? A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Who's this? Oh, it's... There you are! Leaving the exhibit again? When you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down? My dear Madame Tuspel, save your reprimands. There's more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's all ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? She's turned as white as sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. He's not giving up. Though please be aware that I prefer never insist upon payment in advance. Her face screams, is this a scam? Scammer? Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we? Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain?
Yeah, nani kore?
That is the Tuspel special exhibit. There's an extra charge to see it. Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Oh, absolutely none. There's nothing amiss behind there. Nothing amiss, madam.
There's a hand sticking out, yo. Maybe it's a wax hand. Maybe it's a prosthetic, or maybe it's a live arm, but then it got dismembered and then it was put into wax and now it's part of the exhibit. Oh no, I don't... What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, before the situation worsens.
dot 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 dot. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only... Oh my god, what is a soup cone? What is that? Soup cone. Ah! Is it soup cone? I'm not so good at French. What is this word?
Soupçon.
Soupçon? What the
Soupçon.
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 Soupçon. Is it like soupçon?
Soupçon.
Soupçon. What does it even mean? 何これ? Huh.
Soupçon.
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 French. Ugh, French. But only a soupçon.
Oh, she's gonna open the curtain.
Drum roll, please. Eh? I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The two-spell special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however? Oh, who's this? It's the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor.
これは何?
Well then, perhaps Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman, not even waxwork in fact.
Really?
What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans.
What? How?
So allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Why? Why would you say that? And second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. She looks as pale as candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madame Two Spells, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Is it the theme above?
Yeah! The great deduction.
Looks familiar, the guy. I like the photograph. She's cute! To begin with, we must ask ourselves, what exactly is afoot here in this museum? The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200. That is all of my money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Two Spells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale. Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer the centerpiece of your special exhibit for the sum of £200. No! No. Now let us explore the next curiosity which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting?
Dun, 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 dun.
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him that what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer prize. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret.
Conclusion. Sold for cash.
Good morning, train.
Topic ni. Waxwork location.
The question that rises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider the problem for a moment. You cannot possibly. What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we only need to observe his neckerchief. Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay. What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. Man. Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle, almost in fact as if he were on waxwork. But you... Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Threepence, a tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant 200 pounds. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madam? I do not. I feel like it's all wrong. Maybe they're all just wax. Yes. The waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon.
Conclusion. Discovered already.
Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of the horrifying puzzle. I feel like he's wrong. Can't be. I like how she's so ready to just pour all that wax. I see I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Hurley. You have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up 1 point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer? wouldn't it? The killer policeman, Ottermole. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermole.
So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed. It is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes. I remember that old used countenance only too well. But is £200 a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things into perspective. So, it is quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down. Oh, that bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her, you know, face to face. So, I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. To make some minor corrections to the Great Detective's great deductions?
Of course, it's alright. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tuspel vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So Madame Tuspel, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective in temporary exhibit at work. Okay, so now they're back on the regular spiel. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. So to begin with, okay. The answer is the banknotes. Okay. Around £200. So what does this money reveal? Okay, so she reacted to that. And then Sholmes thought that it is the sign? She definitely looked in this direction, it's true.
But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks even for £200.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money I would, but it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway, I wonder if the £200 could have some other significance.
Let's follow the furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it.
Well, I'm honestly guessing it could be the... Oh, wait. Oh! Is it like the entrance fee?
What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
Oh yeah, let's see. Dear Madame Tuspels, we've taken the prisoner from this room. Her wax model is held hostage. The price for his safe return is £200. Have the money ready by noon on October 23.
What?
This is... It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
Yeah, it's a ransom note.
Exactly. Interesting. Damn.
Take that!
That's how he sounds like in English? Oh man. I didn't like it. I like the Japanese better. Oh man. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness, abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have. You try, don't you dare pee in my room. It's okay, baby.
It's okay. Good boy.
In summary then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now let us explore the next curiosity. Everyone who switches says they are disappointed by the English voices. I like them because I played with them on. So. I think it's also because I'm very used to like Japanese audio. Like even in anime and movies, like when I watch the dub, it's a bit weird. Taekae datto.
Nani? What's that, Anzu-di? Nani? どういう意味?
Or I guess it's also, I guess for me, it sounded a bit higher than I expected for him.
Oh, baby, wow. Nani, baby?
I don't know if you guys heard that, but
What is it, Macleod? What is it, my dear baby doggy? It's okay, baby. I love you. Oh, sweet baby boy. So who is a portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor?
it's okay, Trent. It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock. Shocking. With anime watchers, there's always a war on dubs. True. But I don't consume a lot of Japanese stuff.
Ah, so desu ne.
Well, how do I put it?
Yes, it's true. Yeah, baby. Father will come to get you.
I think it stems from in the past wherein casting was not so good in my opinion. Well, at least with what I remember when I was a kid. When it came to like the English dubs, the problem I saw was one, the casting. Sometimes the voice just doesn't fit the character, especially through image or personality. And then I think another problem was in the past, which I think is way less of a problem now, but it still occurs time to time. The translation, or like the way they would word the translation, doesn't really fit the character's way of speaking sometimes, or maybe it comes off too formal than it should, or too casual than it should, and then some meanings get like lost along the translation. So in the dub it feels like a little different when there are certain info omitted. And yeah, I guess that could also be like the onomatopoeia or sound effects, or like the ora and stuff like that don't really get translated because there's not because it's a different sound in a different language, right? They make a different way to say or and stuff, so it just sounds awkward to those who watched it in the quote-unquote original Japanese version, I think. And yeah, there's just a lot of cursed dubs in the past, but I would say nowadays in recent years, I feel like it has improved way more compared to before, to the point that sometimes I'm able to watch in English, but because I've been watching Japanese for so long and I do understand Japanese, I just got used to the Japanese version. Yeah. There was a movie I watched with friends recently, the live action of My Happy Marriage, because it was showing in theaters in the Philippines. I was able to understand the Japanese dialogue. It was just subtitled. So when I was looking at the subs versus what I'm hearing in the dialogues, there were some differences actually. So I think, it's still a problem at times. And is it a big deal? Sometimes it's not. And then with Japanese, some cultural references are there in the way they speak, which don't really get to be, conveyed when you dub it to a different language. Is any version better than the other? For me, I guess whatever is the quote-unquote original, usually that tends to be the best. Whether it's originally English or Japanese. Yeah, culture, grammar, very difficult when it comes to dubs. And even translations for manga can be different and difficult. It's really, really difficult. One good example of a cursed dub I've watched, it's quite an old anime. It's called Ghost Story? Or Ghost School. Hold on. Let me double check it real quick. Yeah, in English it's called Ghost Stories. It's like an anime with some children who fight against supernatural ghosts and stuff that are found all over their school or so. The English dub of that was just cursed as hell. If you guys want to Google that, it's pretty interesting. Alright. There are a few dubs that I like. There are some I don't. There are some I absolutely hate them. I heard some Japanese prefer English because understanding the dialogue actually makes watching these shows harder, lol. I guess so, hi. Well, I would say, based on my observation, with Japanese people, one of the reasons why they like English is because they kind of have an inferiority complex, in my opinion and observation. I think they have an inferiority complex, and most anime characters kind of look European or Western-ish in terms of design. So if it's in English, it kind of fits certain characters more. Because come on, look at the anime character designs. How many are actually really Japanese look or Asian look, right? I mean, the eyes are big, and then usually the skin is white, and then they have a lot of attitudes that are more Western at times. So it kind of fits better. That's why there are times where there's a live action of a anime franchise or a manga franchise, and it's produced by Hollywood. Japanese people would praise that it looks great because they think that the Western features fit the character more than their Japanese features. That's something I've come to observe. Yeah. Yeah, they're revered for entertainment, but they're also so self-loathing. Yeah, they have an inferiority complex, if you ask me. Well, I think what I'm worried about now is like, have you guys heard about the thing with MAPPA, wherein basically they're afraid that the anime industry is gonna collapse, particularly Japanese anime, because a lot of the incoming people that are supposed to replace the old animators and stuff are just not prepared or something like that. Either that or something about overworking as well. Yeah. You checked it out, Zudi? The Ghost Stories dub is so cursed. It's so cursed, I swear. Yeah, so it's interesting at the same time, very a bit sad, I guess, when it comes to the dub and sub stuff, and well, the Japanese side of things too. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. Okay, this is still the common dialogue. There we go. So, if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
We could just ask him when he comes around.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the
deduction process, Iris. Yes, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down. We're never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what Madame Tuspel's trying to hide, let's have a closer look around. Closer look. Luke Skywalker. I like her hair. She's so pretty. She's so pretty. Makes me want to cosplay her. Her outfit is not too complicated either. Oh, wait, there's a hand behind her back. Is that a thing? There are tons of external hard drives with treasures for the
What?
This is just Madame Tuspel's right hand, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all.
Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well, look.
Is it? Oh yeah, the thumb is here, so that's a left hand. Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
And it seems very stiff too. In fact, it's really hard.
You mean... it's made of wax?
声は何?
Is that her hand? No, it's not, right? Yeah, she's holding it. There we go. Oh my god. Wait, what? The sleeve is gray. Oh, this dude. He's missing a hand. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, 200 pounds. Wait, are we supposed to present the arm? Is that it? I guess so. Present.
Take that!
Wait, was he knocked out by the arm? What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. Oh, how could you? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that it is in fact a left hand. Oh wait, that was Ryunosuke. Go ahead. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the hand of a waxwork model. She says kya? Kya! Oh, there we go. Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibit and cause damage.
So kana.
So you mean that arm? Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir. No small keepsake. Like taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson. She whacked him! You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. End result, the scene we see before us, he was he was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being we have our conclusion. The guy was a jerk in the first case, so glad he was bashed. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped.
Pa-pam. Okay, trip. Maybe. No, you cannot have fish, maybe. You might get hit by the
The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider the problem for a moment.
Trip. Baby. You have to learn to go without me. I can't do this forever. I keep waking up in the middle of the night. Baby. Such a baby. Bobby. Nani kore? No, you cannot have my fish. Fish is not good for you. Ne?
My child. Let's consider the problem for a moment.
Oh my.
Okay, just a moment, guys. Let me just at least bring him to the door. Hi. Gomen. Chotto matte. Uhtred.
Tadaima, minasan. Hello. I'm back.
Yo, 그래. So where were we? The second point, right? What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is a young man standing over there who's missing his left arm. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief.
Nekachi. Hankachi.
According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity. Yeah. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away.
Okarinasai. Mase. Goshujin-san. Baka. Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective's nature, of course.
Right, anyway, judging from Madame Two-Spell's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps you might not have identified the man quite correctly. Oh, this just looks really weird. Okay. Oof. He's not real. He's not real. What the? The man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be.
Ah, well, that settles it then.
Right, this isn't a real person at all. His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arms...
His arm's been... Of course, that ties in with what we just found out.
Take that!
Imagine if your arm came off like that. Yabe. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we only need to observe his shoulder stud. No such boneless human walks this earth. Of that, I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man. Naturally! What other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it?
Hello, Fred. Welcome back. Thank you, Papa.
There was Papa Apricot. Brothers in the toilet. Gome. Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with this particularly unsightly visage. Okay, a part of me feels this dude is real. I think this one's a real person. I think he's the security guard of the exhibition area.
It's a hatred.
Tell brother no bathroom breaks. Yabe kore. Yabe sore. Dog watch 24/7. Well, actually, I do want to thank my brother for always helping out. Like, he will. You guys might think he doesn't like, or he's forced, or doesn't like this, but he agreed beforehand that he will help out with Utrecht whenever I stream. So, I do want to buy him a nice Christmas present. He is a gamer, so I do plan to buy him some games that he always wanted. So one of the releases this year, so maybe I'll try to afford 1 or 2 games for him. He hasn't bought anything new in a long while anyway. I do, so it's my way of saying thank you. Yes, Suda is a real boy. I'm a real boy! But your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. That's probably the price of the scarf. I'm more surprised how he can sleep all through this noise. A killer policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known?
He was all over the paper last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like.
Surprise might be spoiled. Oh, don't worry. Brother Apricot's not watching my streams for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles because he plans to play it also. So he's not watching my streams for this one.
It's a very low price though. 3 pence isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garidev's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for £200? Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really?
Perhaps we should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up.
He's a real boy. He's a real man. He's real. He's real.
Take that!
Oh gosh, he's real! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Honestly, if I were to suggest something to the real life wax museum thingy, I would say, hey, why don't you try putting an animatronic inside those wax statues? You know, make them move out of nowhere on their own, or like you know, like this kind of animation, make them tap a feet or blink or change the eye direction and creep out people and make them wonder, is it real? I would totally do that. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slight shift in your choice of adjectives then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Two Spells. Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at the local market. And I presume you observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? Ah yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway. Of course, because as you know, there has just been such a criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective. Hope they will not bother me and get GTFO here as yeah, maybe the policeman's like, can you all just go now so I can do my job? So it would seem that we finally arrived at the truth. Huh. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. In Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Halaction's great deduction of the horrifying puzzle. Still a mystery. Deduction complete. Elementary.
Elementary. Elemental.
All sorts of people visit my museum here, men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway. Oh, that's cute! Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe. She's so cute! I want to be her. I want to take her home. It was a pleasure, madam. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more
Is it the kidnapped?
is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducted. He's everyone's favorite. Everyone likes a cute witchy woman.
That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Cutie Abby, wherever you are a cute witch. Yes.
Yes, tragically it was. Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please. Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish.
As you wishing. I wish you was you.
Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please. It was some days ago now, when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that a waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here.
It is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed.
And I found the ransom note in its place. The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
So, this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose? Dotto, 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 dotto.
Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor. Not a name I've heard before.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete.
Sorry?
The Professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it?
Wait, I get it. Is this Professor dude something to do with Baron Van Zieks? Maybe he was the professor back at his university?
Indeed it is, it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders rocked the capital.
10 years ago?
Yes, at exactly the same time. That Baruch Van Zieks graduated from university, in fact.
What? Surely he's not saying.
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life?
So dramatic.
As you've surmised, it was the Professor case.
Who was this professor then?
Tell me more.
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror. A decade ago, after 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Then, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction.
But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zieks?
You must understand now, my dear fellow, why it is that the Professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the Professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... Oh, wait, of course! What Professor Harebrain said. Lord Van Zieks is from a family with noble blood.
Oh gosh!
It was the fifth... I don't know how to speak. It was the 5th victim that led to the Professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... Clint Van Zieks.
Huh? No. I don't believe it. Van Zieks?
I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Baruch pursued a career as a prosecutor, and eventually became the Reaper we know today. Oh, his Oni-chan got unlived. Oh my. No wonder he became a brooding vampire. They must have been close. I had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter. For the time being, at least. After all, I have work to do.
as a waxwork exhibit. I am afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Oh yes, of course. It's been a pleasure, thank you.
哦，そうですね。
Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involve you coming to visit me here.
It's been too long, it really has.
I'm delighted to see you, Baroque. It's been 10 years, and here we are meeting in the prison of all places.
I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asmund. I just can't.
I still can't believe it could happen. Tomorrow the court will decide.
Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though.
It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. I like how his hair is bouncing. I must warn you.
Oh, I know. I've heard already you're going to be prosecuting, aren't you?
Yes.
Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories.
Baroque, are you really? What?
Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart.
My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else.
Of course. I fully understand. Thank you, Baroque.
Until tomorrow then, I'll see you in court.
Well, this is actually a nice scene because it shows that they really are real friends, you know, the way that they interacted, which is quite interesting in my opinion. In my onion. In my OP onion. Oh my god, opinion is like OP onion. I cannot unhear. OP onion. Okay, I think we can still continue. It's only 1.5 hours so far. Suzuki-masu! October 23, 8:52 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber.
I can't believe it's been 6 months since I was last allowed to work in court. And now here I am, back at the Old Bailey.
His hair is so bouncy.
Mr. Naruhodo!
Good morning, Professor Hairbrain. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. The atmospheric pressure in here is off the charts. I've never felt anything like it. It's crushing me.
I feel it every time I'm here.
That's gravity. Well, this is Britain's highest court. But are you telling me it's fitted with some kind of device that can actually control air pressure?
Oh my god, he took it literally.
I think it's probably all in the mind. Yes. Well, you won't let me down, will you, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm counting on you in today's trial, so save my life! To save the secret of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine from being made public.
Yes, I understand. I know what I have to do. I have to establish that the explosion 2 days ago was nothing more than an unfortunate accident.
Well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, really. Justice will prevail. My commiserations, Mr. Naruhodo. You appear to have been numbered with the most dancing case here.
Wait, who's this? Oh, I thought it's a whole different person. Mr. Sholmes, I didn't expect to see you here.
That was very mean, Runo, leaving me all alone at home with Hurley.
It took me at least an hour to wake him.
Is it?
Are you?
Hello, Sholmes! Indeed, sir, I am he. Hello, Sholmes! Now, I've heard all about your exploits, even whilst living in Germany.
Ah yes, Rand's magazine is on sale in Germany too.
This month's installment was sublime. Your deduction in the adventure of Silver Blaze was wonderful. Ah yes, a memorable... My English is disappearing. Ah yes, a memorable case indeed. It concerned a snake, I seem to recall.
No, that was the speckled band.
Well, thank you for coming. I do appreciate your support. I'm so sorry to disappoint you, my dear fellow, but I'm afraid I can't stay. Oh. I have urgent business at Madame Two-Spells. You mean your waxwork job? No, the waxwork abduction, of course. Madame has engaged my services. Ah, so you're trying to get to the bottom of that ransom note, are you? The week's wages depend on it, as does the safe return of the waxwork, naturally. As such, I intend to give it my undivided attention. Oh, well, never mind then, I understand. Of course, with my skills of observation and reasoning, resolving the matter will be as easy as proverbial pie. I shall return forthwith. For until I solve the case, I shall have no money to afford a pie of any description.
Aww, then you must absolutely give it your full attention, Hurley.
Quite, Iris, quite. But life is riddled with irony, you know. Whenever I give something my full attention, I have a quite insatiable desire for a pie. One of the universe's intractable mysteries, you might say. Oh yes, quite, definitely, absolutely, I totally understand. Is someone a little starstruck? Fanboy moment.
Thank you for the head pat, ne? Arigato.
I wish you the very best of luck, Professor Hairbrain. Yeah, why thank you. Before I depart, Mr. Naruhiro, a word in your ear if you please. If you please. What's this about? As you have remarkably little grounding in science, I feel I ought to inform you. As compelling as this super high voltage instantaneous kinesis hypothesis may be, a practical implementation such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition is quite impossible. But the professor said the demonstration was a success. Yes, it would appear that he fervently believes it was.
I've read Professor Bunnybrain's paper about it too, Bruno, and I have to say, I'm sure it can't be done. It could barely be done theoretically, let alone practically.
So he's completely barking up the wrong tree? But how could an experiment that had no possibility of succeeding in fact succeed? That's contradictory. And it's that contradiction that will be at the heart of the trial, I've no doubt. What's that supposed to mean? Now I must hurry along. I wish you the best of luck, my dear fellow.
See you later, Hurley.
Tally-ho. Wait. Okay, I have an idea. What if... do you think the stolen waxwork is related to our case? And if that's the case, then... the only reason the person would steal the wax thingamabob is to be a stand-in or something? Now I'm curious.
Well, it looks like you're on your own today, Bruno. But chin up, you can do it.
Oh, what about you, Iris?
No, I'm afraid I can't help. I have something I need to do.
Maybe they stole the waxwork to eat it?
Can you eat wax?
I think you can eat beeswax, am I right? Or I could be wrong. Would you eat wax?
Huh.
I see.
It's going to be a big surprise for you when you find out what it is.
Huh? That sounds ominous.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Make your way to the courtroom at once.
We're on our way!
ちょっと待ってください.
An experiment that the laws of science say can't possibly succeed. And a scientist who's convinced that it did. That's the riddle you have to unlock here, Ryunosuke. That's the key to this case. Or maybe they are a candle maker and we're short of their own wax shortage. Could be, I guess. Or maybe they were using it to seal a lot of letters. Because back then they had wax seals, right? For letters. I kind of prefer that also over the traditional glue. It's easier to open the envelope without destroying it. One can eat wax? Really? It's not really profitable for the well-being. Oh, but it's not good for the body. Ah, naruhodo. October 23, 9:10 a.m. The Old Bailey Courtroom. Courtroom.
Ka-chunk.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Ho ho ho, Santa Claus is here. We are sitting today for the public trial of Professor Albert Harebrain. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. I'm Batman. The prosecution is ready.
The defense?
The defense is ready, my lord. I'm 6 months out of practice and what's more? Oh, I'm without Susato-san today. Is it just my imagination or does the air in here feel even more oppressive than usual?
So, I must say I recollect the victim of this case all too well, Mr. Asman. Mr. Asman was well known as a financier, though that was merely a front for his diverse criminal activities. It was only a month ago that the man appeared in court prosecuted by you, Lord Van Ziegs. But the jury unanimously found him not guilty.
Oh, another victim.
Because every member of the jury had been bribed by the sound of it. These powerful London criminals are prepared to go to extreme lengths to keep their freedom.
But 2 days ago, on October 21st, Mr. Asman met his end. The work of the Reaper, was it? If that is how your lordship would describe divine retribution. But the fact remains that Mr. Asman's death was a direct result of the actions of the accused, Professor Harebrain. Very well then. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people. Are the 6 of you ready to fulfill your societal duty?
Oh, this person's face is so square.
I'm most gratified to have been selected to carry out this important civic duty, my lord.
Oh, she's pretty. But her neck is so long. To have a man's fate in the palms of one's hand? Oh gosh, oh golly. It sends shivers down my spine.
Wow, magician.
Science experiments, magic, conjuring tricks, courtroom trials, all are nothing more than performances.
Oh. This dude, he looks like he's been bitten by so many insects.
Any spurious scholar that defiles the reputation of science deserves to hang.
We listen to what's said on both sides of it and then settle on one that's it, isn't it?
It's the policeman in the wax museum. The one that Mr. Sholmes thought was the wax work. He's asleep. Oh gosh. Oh no, it's not. Is it a different person? I'm now confused. Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all. He has a gun in court. Is that loud? That's the police killer Otter Mole lookalike. Again. Ah, so it is the one from the museum. And he's as exhausted as ever, it seems. Now I'm sure you are all aware. The incidents we are here to judge today tragically took place at the Great Exhibition shortly after its opening. Though the death tolls could have been far worse, with the exception of the victim, no one was killed. Nevertheless, the dream of the science being exhibited rapidly turned into a nightmare for the spectators. A tragic turn of events, and as such, the eyes of all London, no, the whole world will be on this trial. It is our duty to reach a swift and just conclusion, I feel. Do you believe in justice and justice? So your opening statement, please, Lord Van Ziggs. At the heart of this incident is technology never before demonstrated anywhere in the world. One of science's latest developments, I take it. The government is keen to capitalize on the Great Exhibition to improve Britain's technological advantage. The technology being demonstrated by the accused was described as super high voltage instantaneous kinesis. Good lord! Ho ho ho! It's designed to disassemble human subjects using extremely high voltage electricity. Utrecht, what are you doing? Are you okay, baby? Okay, he's just weird. Baby Utrecht is just trying to make himself comfy. Is such a thing even within the realms of possibility? Well, I don't believe it, that's for sure. Disassembling people with electricity? My goodness, how shocking! Ha! The whole idea is absurd. The hypothesis would never stand up to scrutiny. Sir, I believe you are a fellow of the Royal Society, are you not? An expert in your field. I am, and my word on the matter can be considered final. Instantaneous kinesis is poppycocks. What is poppycock? What is that? Google. Poppycock. It means empty talk or writing. In other words, nonsense. Where does it come from? According to several online sources, including the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, poppycock is a corruption of the Dutch word poppycock, a compound of pop meaning soft chewed up food and kak meaning well, kak. That did not help me, I don't know those words. Anyway, AWAW protocol. So this expert and Mr. Sholmes are in agreement. It's impossible. What is the prosecution's view on the matter? The prosecution would assert, meaning poop, so this name, that the accused's instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a success. Huh? Wait, what? A success? Huh? What? What?
Huh?
Order! Order! I did not expect that. The professor's hypothesis is currently under investigation by the British government. If it is deemed to have merit, a substantial research grant would be made available.
The accused made use of the invention built on his new hypotheses to take Mr. Asmon's life, in order to be the sole benefactor of the grant.
But...
This disastrous demonstration was no accident. It was carefully designed from the outset to end the life of the victim.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you, Lord Van Dijk. The prosecution's stance is clear. But you will now bring forth witnesses to substantiate your claims. Gladly, my lord.
So cute, Fred. Oh, there he goes with his kick flip.
Bailiff, show the first witnesses to the stand.
Stand Jojo.
Oh, Greggy.
Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court.
Hello, Iro-san! Ohisashibure!
See you later, too long. Oh, baby, Fred. Baby, behave.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. I was on duty at the demonstration on the day in question and in charge of the following investigation.
Albert Harebrain, scientist. And childhood friend and prosecutor. It's okay, Fred. It's okay, good boy.
You were born in England but have been carrying out research in Germany in recent years, correct?
How are you, by the way, Iwo? I hope you've been well.
大丈夫、Iro-san。お久しぶり。
Yes, that's right. After graduating from university here in Britain, I went to work in Germany and made an amazing discovery, which is what brought me back. I had to demonstrate my incredible hypothesis at the great exhibition.
What you demonstrated was incredible, right? An incredible explosion.
But the science was a success. The instantaneous kinesis worked. Everyone saw it. They must have done. Yes, there was the turbo accident, but the demonstration of my hypothesis was a success.
Well, that much is undeniable, as shown in this photograph taken by the forensic investigation team. This was taken inside the Crystal Tower, I take it. The centerpiece of the exhibition, no less.
Okay, so it has blood, so this is not the wax dummy. That's my guess. Maybe the one that they placed into the machine at the beginning was the wax dummy? I don't know anymore. But then But Baron Van Zeke said it works, so now I'm confused.
That's right, my lord. Seems the victim rammed straight into it. I see. Very well. Submit the photograph as evidence.
Ba-da-da-da.
As the court heard, the victim of the incident was Mr. Asmon. There have been a number of allegations made against the man, but putting him aside for the time being. He was the man who financed the research for the experiment and the demonstration itself. I see. So, to summarize the situation, the defendant is accused of taking the life of the man who funded his work. Would that be correct? Exactly.
But couldn't it be that the explosion was caused by some malfunction in the apparatus used for the demonstration?
That's right. This must be it. My splendid machine. My poor splendid machine.
You saw it yesterday, did you? We can't even examine the wreckage thanks to the special dispensation for scientific equipment, eh?
Ah! The wreckage! The wreckage!
But that being the case, how can the facts be established?
Might be, to be honest, might be. I guess maybe that's how they would, you know, make it appear to have worked. But if Hairbrain and Baroque here are like both, yeah, it works. I'm quite confused to believe it now. You hear something downstairs, that's why.
How can it possibly be determined whether this was an accident or a deliberate and malicious act? Extremely simple, my lord. I beg your pardon? Ho ho ho? Isn't that right, witness?
What? Sorry? Me?
No, your neighbor.
Yes, sir. It was murder, plain and simple. Anyone could state that with complete certainty. What?
How can he possibly think that? Thank you, Inspector. I think we had better proceed to formal testimony. You will explain to the court on what grounds you claim this experiment to have been a front for murder.
Mordor. Witness testimony. Affront for murder.
The corpse that went crashing through the crystal tower had a broken neck.
I made a minor miscalculation in the angle of the beam projector, that's all. That was my mistake.
But the post-mortem examination revealed another injury, a fatal wound. There was a lesion in his chest where he'd clearly been stabbed by something sharp right in the heart. So the victim was killed before he went anywhere, and this fella's the only one who could have done it.
So he was stabbed before. Huh. So that means he was stabbed sometime when he entered the machine at the beginning. And then all that smoke came out. Maybe someone got on the stage and stabbed him.
An extraordinary business. In addition to suffering a broken neck, the victim was stabbed in the heart. Information I would really like to have heard from someone other than the judge.
Don't you dare pee in my room. You've been cleared for 2 days, I think. I don't know, maybe. Or at least a day.
The coroner says death would have been all but instant from a wound like that. You could say, in fact, that the victim was killed twice by the accused.
Killed twice, double dead.
No. That couldn't be further from the truth.
You think he's guilty?
Oh, I see, baby.
I have here the experiment plan document that was submitted to the security team. The victim stood himself inside something called the bird cage, ready to be beamed instantly
Ka-chonk, ka-chonk.
to the second level of the crystal tower about 25 yards away.
The experiment did not go according to the plan, however.
What?
As the machine was put into operation, there was a large explosion. The blast caused the beam transmitter to point higher than intended.
Wow, nani kore, uchi.
Gomenne minasan, my dog has some weird behavior today. There's someone out there? Hold on, guys. It seems Uhtred thinks there's someone out there. Let me just double check. Someone's there, baby? Hello, I'm Mick. Hello. He just... he thought there was an intruder in the house. It was just one of my parents. They were fixing something in the kitchen. Because it's under renovation. He thought there was some intruders or something. Everything's fine. When he saw it was our one of my parents, he just asked to go out and pee, and then now he's staying in parents' room for the moment. He didn't want to come back up yet. So all good, all good. Sorry for the worry. A mistake on my part as well. I should have brought my cell phone with me. I went to check something without any thingy-mabob. Alright, okay. So where were we? Accordingly, the kinesis resulted in the birdcage materializing in mid-air. Oof. From where it subsequently fell, crashing through the glass of the Crystal Tower's large round window. My word, one assumes the victim's neck was broken upon impact with the tower then. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. The machine was just too powerful. But honestly, really, I swear, it was just an accident, a terrible accident. Unfortunately, that excuse can't save you. Will be Anzu able to prove that it was self-defense with nothing less than 68 stabs to protect herself? Oh god. Lol? No, not considering the sharp murder weapon that pierced the victim's heart. A murder weapon? What are you saying? This is the autopsy report submitted by the coroner. The prosecution would like it entered into the court record. Your request is granted, counsel. I was there present, you know. I saw the whole ludicrous performance. And the only other person on stage with Mr. Osmond was that disgraceful excuse of a scientist. Then really, by all accounts, it must have been him. Hard to think otherwise, really. Very well, counsel. For the defense, proceed with the cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord. I need to focus here. It's been a while.
Affront for murder.
Hold it!
Are you suggesting that because he fell from a considerable height? Exactly. Which highlights something else about the whole rum business. What's that? The fact that the instantaneous kinesis itself was a success. Huh? After the explosion, the cage with the fella inside suddenly appeared out of nowhere in midair. So although the experiment ended in disaster, the so-called instantaneous kinesis did actually occur. Remind us again, Professor, what was the cause of the fatal disaster? So minor miscalculation, he says.
Hold it!
So the angle of projection is critical, is it? And you calculated it yourself, personally? Absolutely! The calculations is far too complicated for anyone but me to carry out. Only if you go wrong. Yes, that's right. That's the point. The calculation is so complicated, even I can make a mistake. Do people fall for that brazen confidence? I should try it. I took into account the subject's height and weight, the wind direction, the ambient temperature. I considered every possible variable, so I just don't understand how this would have happened. Obviously, then, you had to include the weight of the clothes Mr. Asman was wearing at the time, I suppose. Ah. Crackling comets! The answer should have been 3! So much for safety first. The 3 must be for safety third. Thank you for the watering. I have tea. What kind of tea is this? Ito... I think it's a ginger honey one with some apple.
Hold it!
Another fatal injury, you say? That doesn't make any sense. I didn't think I'd have to spell this out, but here we go. Just because there were 2 fatal wounds doesn't mean I'm saying the victim had 2 lives to lose, does it? Too right. Obviously, at first we thought the bloke had died due to his spine snapping in half as well. But you're saying that's not the case? You'll get your answer once I finish my fish and chips. If you don't keep butting in every few seconds. But we all know that's a bottomless bag.
The victim plummeted 30 feet into a glass tower. It would be reasonable to assume that as the cause of death.
Tasty, yeah.
I want chicken nuggets and french fries. No, chicken nuggets and french fries, where are you? Right, that's what we all thought, but it was a red herring, wasn't it?
Hold it!
The defense knew nothing of this crucial information.
The prosecution received this report from the forensic investigation team only this morning. That was the first we knew of it as well. I can only apologize for the impossibility of informing the defense.
Sarcastic and insincere. Thanks. So what was the nature of this sharp object?
Among the accused tools that were used at the demonstration, one is of particular interest. This.
What is that? Oh yes, that would appear to be some kind of screwdriver, wouldn't it? Ah ha ha! There he is! My trusty little companion, Andrew! Andrew? Andrew? Of course. Ah, do you know each other already? He's one of my dear friends like all my tools. I've named them all, you know. We're one big happy family.
He's weird. Mom, help me, pick me up. I'm scared.
Andrew is my flathead screwdriver, of course. His brother Michael is a crosshead. Well, it would appear that your beloved Andrew has a red stain on his shank. Ah, that isn't... It is blood. Beyond all reasonable doubt. No. Hairbrain is at the side. Look at him. And that's not all. The long, sharp shape of this Andrew fellow is completely consistent with the victim's wound.
What? Screwdriver.
Screwdriver? Order! The court will enter this friend of the defendant as evidence. So one of Professor Hairbrain's tools is a murder weapon? Oh, great! Poor Naruhodo.
Hold it!
What grounds do you have for saying that? Huh, you'd really think. Do you really need to ask? There were only 2 people on the public experimentation stage in front of the whole crowd. The victim is Odi Asman and the accused, Professor Hebring. And we know for certain that before the experiment, the victim was alive. That's right, I saw him with my own 2 eyes. Furthermore, following the explosion and kinesis, nobody went anywhere near the body. In other words, only someone else on stage with the victim could possibly have done it.
Great Scott. Nani?
Excuse me.
Professor Herbrey, do you have some information that may be relevant here? Okay, I have to admit now that I hear the English voice of Ryunosuke. I think it's not as bad as I first thought. The excuse me was pretty good.
I like it.
Professor! Ah, sorry. I was just calculating the optimal coefficient of electrolysis to separate molecules in the human body. And the witness stand is the best place for that. It seems as though you might have something to say about Inspector Gregson's last remark. Ah! Yes, that's right, of course. He just said that nobody else could have done it, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. Who else could have stabbed the victim, eh? I don't know, but there's no way that I could possibly have stabbed Mr. Assman, as you say. Huh? Explain, please, Professor. You believe there are some concessions for the insane? Of course, this cold-hearted policeman may not be aware, I suppose. But humans are warm-blooded mammals with blood running continuously through their veins. I had heard. Then surely you see, if I'd plunged something the size of Andrew into the man's chest, the whole stage would have been a bloodbath. No, a blood swimming pool. But thousands of Londoners were watching me at the time. And yet not one of them claims to have seen a swimming pool of blood. He has a point. Well, no, I suppose not.
You see? Not one.
True, I didn't see anything like that. Well done, Professor. That was a great counter-argument. Oh, great. He's drinking. We all know what that means. Pray forgive the discourtesy if I save a drop from my hollowed chalice to accompany my old friends adducing. Here's to you, Albert. Oh, you're too kind, Brooke. But I'm really not a patch on you. On your blood. Ah! No, you're not.
No?
You've neglected to mention one crucial possibility. I have. A particular situation in which very little bleeding would result from a stab wound. Oh, of course. Inspector, enlighten the court, please. Yes, sir. Where are they going with this? Very well, you will amend your formal testimony now, Inspector Gregson.
Greggy.
The weapon the victim was stabbed with must have been left in his body whilst he was beamed through the air. Ah, so that you wouldn't bleed. Oh yeah, for those who don't know, if you get stabbed by anything, don't pull it out. If you pull it out, you're going to bleed to death. Just keep it on until emergency arrives.
Hold it!
Why would you think that, Inspector? With any wound, it's only when you pull the weapon out that profuse bleeding occurs. Whilst it's still lodged in the body, it acts as a stopper of sorts, for want of a better word. I see.
You don't need a medical degree to be aware of this fact. It's common knowledge for any investigator.
Where's Sato-san when you need her? If you ask me, this bloke masked what he was doing from view with his body before stabbing Asman in the chest. Then he beamed the victim off the stage with his fancy device, the screwdriver still where he planted it. I would never do such a thing, not to my precious tools. I would never use them for such dirty work.
You only use your tools for their intended purpose. That's common knowledge for any scientist.
The fact remains, the lack of blood at the scene can easily be explained, as the prosecution has demonstrated.
So that's all the testimony I have to work with. I had no idea the victim had been stabbed. That changes everything. Did Van Zieks keep that to himself until now on purpose to gain advantage? Oh well, I suppose all I can do is press these witnesses for as much new information as possible. I honestly don't remember what we have in our inventory, aside from the stuff from the beginning. Guess let's look at the new stuff.
He's kind of a handsome old man, isn't he?
Then we have the stab wound on the chest. Okay, and then we have the autopsy report. Put some ribbons and glitter on the object you got stabbed with. Accessorize. Autopsy report. Coroner, Courtney Seath. I think you read it as Seath. Details of the victim. Name is Audi Asman, male, age 47, British. Died October 21 around 2:20 p.m. Cause of death. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. Additional observations. A broken vertebra, most likely resulting from impact after a sudden fall from considerable height. Okay. Then we got the screwdriver.
Hey, it's letter A for Anzu.
This is blood, Mr. Asman's, no doubt. This is the problem with looking at murder weapons. I've seen this unusually shaped handle before. It's the same screwdriver that was lodged in the grill on the floor of the kinesis machine, which could be important information, so I should definitely make note of it. So if it's in the base of the kinesis machine, then that would break the theory that it was lodged on the victim's body. Yeah, I think that's what we need. Fatal wound. The weapon the victim was stabbed with must have left his body while he beamed through the air. Guess we can try exposing it here, presenting it here. Okay, let's try.
Objection!
Oh, the objection was quite different. Wow. You say that while the weapon remains in the body, there's very little bleeding. Is that unequivocal? Look, there was no blood on the experimentation stage, even though that's where the fellow was stabbed. The only explanation for that is if the screwdriver was still in his body, stopping any heavy bleeding.
It's common medical knowledge, my learned friend, even on your side of the world.
Yes, but about this screwdriver. The thing is, we actually saw it at the scene ourselves, on the experimentation stage.
What?
It was on the floor by the wreckage of the machine, poking through a metal grill. I want to pick it up, but the detective here stopped me. Isn't that right, Inspector Gregson? Oh, well, now you can't mention it, yeah? Inspector, are we to understand that you permitted the Defense Counsel to investigate? That you contravened the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act? Hey, no, not at all. I wouldn't do that. I just let him look, nothing more. I was very clear he wasn't to touch a thing. Yes, that's true. This screwdriver was in plain sight on the stage. But it shouldn't have been, should it? What are you getting at? If this tool had still been in the victim's body when the victim was beamed away by the machine, then it shouldn't have still be on the then it shouldn't have still been on the stage. Oh. That's right. It should have been beamed across to the Crystal Tower along with Mr. Asman and been found still lodged in the victim's chest. Ugh!
Oh, it's Fish and Chippoo. Fish and Chippoo.
How do you explain this, Inspector? I don't. It looks as though everything that the victim had on his person moved with him when he was beamed. If the screwdriver was still in his chest when the instantaneous kinesis occurred, obviously that should have been beamed to the destination as well. You! This is a strange situation. Even though people are saying that this instantaneous kinesis is a scientific impossibility, we're still basing arguments on the assumption that it did actually take place. Alright, time to tighten the screws here. My lord, if the prosecution is unable to explain this inconsistency in its argument, we can only conclude that the testimony given in support cannot be relied upon.
Uh-huh.
He is not amused. Lord Van Zeeks is stunned. Do you have something to say, witness?
Yes, I knew it. It bears out. The equations hold. Mr. Naruhodo, don't worry.
He had to hold it, right?
About what? Without delving into the details, there is no inconsistency.
What?
Even if Andrew had been lodged in Mr. Asman's chest,
My trusty tool wouldn't have moved. Andrew remaining on the stage is consistent with my calculations.
what?
He's not helping his case. Oh, even Van Zeek's like, screw this shit. It would seem your illusions have been shattered. Clearly, we should hear the accuser's explanation. Or should I say this brilliant scientist's explanation? This is why I love that they added voices for characters other than the defense and prosecution. Yeah, I like it also. It gives you an idea, I guess, of how the personality of the person is like, in my opinion. It is really helpful. Because it even sets the tone for the character. I like it. Just when I'd found an inconsistency in the prosecution's argument. Scientists. Scientists. Very well, the defendant will testify again. Provide us with a scientific explanation as to why the inconsistency asserted by the defense fails to hold.
In the name of Apollo, I will, my lord.
Apollo.
Apollo Justin.
The inconsistency explained.
To be clear, I'm still at the stage of gathering data in my research. My hypothesis states the kinesis cannot transport metal though, hence the metal weapon would have stayed put.
In other words, the point just raised by Mr. Naruhodo isn't an inconsistency at all. Mr. Asman was the patron of my research. Without him, my work wouldn't have been possible. Now I have a duty to protect the incredible machine that we built together. He's got a point, though. He's basically not supporting his innocence. But I guess that's a charm in itself, too. The fact that he stands on the facts. And if he's really innocent, I guess he wouldn't have said that, honestly. And I guess even if he was guilty, I guess it's all for the name of science for this dude. So, the thrust of your testimony, Professor, is that based upon his hypotheses, metal objects cannot be moved by this method of instantaneous kinesis. In other words, since the screwdriver is made of metal, even if it remained lodged into the victim's chest, its subsequent discovery on the stage despite the victim being found elsewhere is not an inconsistency. And therefore,
Professor Albert Harebrained could still have been the killer.
my great hypothesis holds, you see? We had to make the cage used to contain its subject from wood for that very reason.
I was not addressing you, witness.
Professor Harebrained. Yes?
Whose side are you on here?
I don't take sides, Mr. Naruhodo. My only interest lies in upholding my hypotheses. I'm a scientist, after all.
Is he working for us or against us? It's very hard to tell. Let's see how you cross-examine this testimony, my Nipponese friend.
Yes, fire away, Mr. Naruhodo.
Naruhodon't.
The inconsistency explained.
Hold it!
Hold it.
And yet your retort to my argument wasn't lacking in confidence in any way.
No scientist can find the truth without first finding self-belief. Those were the words of a certain scientist I hold in very high esteem.
But you realize that disproving my argument puts you in a very precarious position, don't you?
No scientist should strive to protect himself more than he strives to protect the truth. More words of the same great scientist, you know?
Words that are causing me a lot of trouble. Who is the scientist?
I'm afraid I couldn't tell you, Mr. Naruhodo. But as soon as I remember the magnificent genius name, you'll be the first to know.
It might be worth keeping the name of your idols to mind. You're wasting your breath, my learned friend. This scatterbrain even forgets my name at times.
So Lord Van Zix really did have a friend once, but I didn't notice hell freezing over.
Hold it!
Your hypothesis states it, so this isn't proven then.
No, of course not. It's merely a hypothesis, but a good one based upon thousands of calculations. But it is widely known that metals can't be decomposed by electrolysis. Yes, of course, so I am right. My hypothesis is clearly correct.
What is it about incriminating himself that makes this man so happy?
It's the whole reason that the birdcage is made of wood, you see?
Sorry, the birdcage?
Yes, that's what I call the C. obtusa cage in which Mr. Asman was placed for the kinesis.
Ah, the jail cell in which the victim was detained. It does indeed seem to be made of a limber of some sort. I'll thank you not to refer to it as an instrument of incarnation, your lordship. In short, any weapon lodged in the victim when he was beamed away by instantaneous kinesis would have been left behind on the stage if it was made of metal, correct?
Yes, that's it. Yes. It all fits perfectly with the mathematical model.
But the ultimate conclusion then is that the defendant alone had the opportunity to inflict this fatal injury on the victim, is it not?
Ah, indeed, sir. Someone beam me out of this nightmare. Self-incrimination. You seem to be pleased by that.
Yes, another example of my hypothesis holding true.
But I sense some sarcasm, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you not pleased? Are you not entertained?
No. I knew it. At the end of the day, I'm the one responsible for Mr. Asman losing his life.
The advancement of science is no excuse, I know that.
No, you're quite right.
Tell the court, did you have a close relationship with Mr. Asman?
Oh, well, no, not really. I mean, I'd only met him 2 or 3 times. And we only ever discussed my hypotheses and the project. And the research grant, of course.
But there are buttons, monocle, and shiz.
Hold it!
How did you come to know Mr. Asman in the first place? That's so cute.
A year ago now, a small provincial science journal published a little paper about my work.
That's a science journal? Good gracious, I should need a new spectacles.
I might have had an extraordinary hypothesis and great promise, but at the time I had no money. I had to eat tiny little meals at a tiny little cafe and drink watered down water out of a tiny little glass. But Mr. Asman read the paper and came to visit me at my tiny little laboratory.
And offered you money to help fund your work.
Exactly, that's exactly what happened.
I handled the theoretical side of things, and Mr. Asman provided me with an engineer for the practical.
And the 3 of us produced that fantastic machine together.
The machine that you brought to the great exhibition? To demonstrate.
We had to apply to the government for some sort of inspection to be allowed to exhibit, I think. I didn't understand all the side of things. Mr. Asman took care of all it. He was a wonderful man. Really, I owe him everything.
Hey, Fred. Baby, where are you? Let me get your collar. Come, baby. There you go. Yeah, it's a literal small journal.
Hold it!
I wonder if we can get a copy of it. When you say that you built the machine together, does that mean that you were involved in its construction?
Yes. Well, not exactly. I'm not good with the practical side of machines myself. So the physical construction was done by an engineer.
Little remains of your creation now though, following the explosion. Repair will no doubt be impossible.
Yes, baby.
Yes, I realize that, but still. If someone were to gather all the broken parts, they could discover the secret of my hypotheses. But Mr. Asman and I told over that machine for so long. We put our hearts and soul into it. I have to protect our work. So what's left of the machine must be kept safe. That's only fair because what happened was an accident.
That's the extent of the testimony then. Thank goodness for that. I don't want him doing any more damage. He's already basically proven that he could have been the culprit. But it seems as though all he really cares about is defending his hypotheses. Still, I wonder, what if his hypothesis is just fundamentally flawed?
flawed.
Fundamentally flawed. But how? We don't have an item for it, do we? Wait. Fundamentally flawed. How? Oh wait, I get it. Maybe Mr. Asman was shot with the crossbow when he was getting into the thingamabob. Maybe they used a knife? I mean the screwdriver as the ammo? That's my guess now. Eto. Cannot transport metal. I'm not sure. What should we present? I'm gonna press some of the statements again.
Hold it!
Okay, so it's lacking in confidence. But you realize that disproving my argument, remember? Maybe? Probably. Trying to figure out what would be something to present. Monica now. This is gonna work. Transport metal through. Well, I could argue maybe like the parts of this one, glasses are metal. So maybe the metal here, meaning the glasses should not have transported. Can you touch the monocle on the photo? When it comes to photos, all you can do is like zoom in with this thingamabob. Yeah. Maybe we could? I mean, technically, shouldn't that be considered as metal? I guess we can try. You know what? We got nothing to lose. We still got 5 lives anyway. Screw it.
Objection!
Oh. Ah yeah, the glasses. Monocle is only if it's one side. Yeah, that's why mono. Professor Hairbrain, you say that according to your hypotheses, nothing made of metal can be beamed by instantaneous kinesis using the machine you made, is that right?
Yes,
That's right, spot on exactly. In that case, I'd ask you to have a look at this photograph that was taken at the scene. In particular, I'd like you to pay attention to the victim's face. Oh, there you go. It's okay, a trend. You can clearly see that Mr. Asman is wearing a pair of spectacles with a metal rim.
what? Metal? No, metal cannot. Metal? No!
He turned into Yoshi. So cute, Trent. We've already established that the proposed murder weapon, the screwdriver, was found on the stage. However, if your hypothesis correctly predicted that outcome, it should have also predicted that the metal-rimmed spectacles would be found in the same place.
My hypothesis! Yo! My hypothesis!
Professor Hairbrain, this isn't easy for me to say, but your hypothesis is clearly flawed. Wait, I've been bamboozled. Utra, don't bite your leash.
What? What? Are you biting your leash? No.
If you break that, we'll have to buy more. It's the only leash I got left for you. It's not the trick. You want something to shoot? This one is for you. Go man, he was chewing his leash.
Counsel, what is the implication of this?
If on the day in question the alleged instantaneous kinesis never actually took place, then it's entirely possible that the victim was killed somewhere other than on the stage. And in that case, someone other than the defendant could have been the culprit.
But my hypothesis is sound. I proved it that day. The experiment was a success. The experiment was proof of all my work.
If I could say something here in my capacity as a fellow of the Royal Society. Yes, juror number 4, go ahead. As a man of science, there's one thing I simply cannot avoid. And that's a fraud who pretends to be a fellow man of science.
What? Wait. Great Scott! Are you suggesting my science is suspect?
They've been playing Among Us.
It's just been disproved, hasn't it? In front of all of us. In other words, the whole demonstration was a complete nonsense from start to finish. Believe me, my fellow jurors, when I tell you that this man is a heel, a bounder, and a fraud. I say the wreckage of the machine should be stripped down and thoroughly examined.
No! Never! That machine is the essence of my entire hypothesis! It's protected by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
What the hell is that blasted act all about, eh? Who made up such a daft rule?
I don't like the way this seems to be going. What's the best way for me to help the professor? Oh no. Oh no.
It's okay, Sue. It's okay, we'll try.
If I raise an objection, usually that's the correct answer. If you say wait and see, usually that's the wrong answer, so... Let's save. Just in case. Go, let's go with raise an objection.
Objection!
Professor Hairbrain has yet to perfect his invention. That would seem to be the case, yes. But even so...
Even so what?
Utra, no markings. Going to such trouble and expense to create a fake machine to display in public. He would have absolutely no reason to do such a thing.
Objection!
That's his voice? In English? Huh?
He had an obvious reason to do exactly that. For the research grant money.
If the government was foolish enough to have deemed the man's ridiculous notion plausible, he and his conspirators would have received a handsome sum indeed.
Conspirators?
What would be the value of such a grant? £10?
You're an order of magnitude out, man, and £500 a year!
You could have much me.
I know.
The society has noticed an increase in bogus public demonstrations in the field of science recently, and plenty of scientists are arguing with each other to get the largest size of the funding cake.
Who tread? Down, boy.
That tickle.
People's greed is plenty motive enough for murder, I assure you.
No, I haven't deceived anyone. Least all of the government. My hypothesis is sound. The science is sound. Please, you must believe me.
Objection!
No matter how unbelievable this hypothesis may seem to you, ladies and gentlemen, the fact remains that the victim was transported instantly to the Crystal Tower. Which means that the experiment was a success.
Ah, Baruch.
And therefore, the only person who could possibly have committed this murder is the accused.
Baruch.
How the tables have turned, how the turns have tabled at that moment. Where is this heading? I have no idea.
My lord, if I may. Yes, Lord Van Zix. The prosecution would like to summon a new witness. To summon new witnesses to the stand.
New witnesses?
What would be the nature of their involvement? They were spectators of the demonstration at the exhibition, who were occupying special seats.
Eyewitnesses?
Very well. The court grants the prosecution's request. I should very much like to hear from eyewitnesses to the incident. The prosecution's stance is clear. This experiment was known.
Postiche? Is that how you read it? Oh god.
The accused killed the financier victim there on the public stage before the very eyes of the spectators. Now, my learned friend.
Oh, yes?
It's time for you to make your own stance clear.
There's clearly a flaw in the professor's hypotheses. I can definitely see that. But where does that leave me?
We shall take a short recess now, during which time the prosecution will prepare its new witnesses to take the stand. As you wish, my lord. Good. In that case, court is adjourned for 20 minutes.
Bathroom break.
Alright. Okay, perfect. To be continued. So I think this would be a good part to cut off the stream for. Yes? Alright. Okay, so on our next stream for this game, we're going to be welcoming our new witnesses to the stand. Alright. So, if you would like to give me some support, feel free to punch that like button and peck that subscribe button if you are not subscribed yet or you were unsubscribed by YouTube for some reason. Alright. So for those who didn't catch the stream last time, yesterday, the schedule I have is a bit different except for Sunday. It's still 10 p.m. in YouTube, GMT +8. So I'm still experimenting on a better time slot. So I apologize for the next few days or weeks. Ne? Hi. Alright.
何かな?
I guess my next delivery schedule will be posted by Tuesday maximum. Hi. Alright. Okay. So thank you very much for passing by or staying in my stream today.
Hi. おつわんずだね.
So if you know my outro, feel free to say it with... Sorry. Correction. Our outro. If you know our outro, say it with me. If not, then listen well so we can say it together next time. Alright. And as always, Pachok, I'll see you in the next package delivery.
Bye bye. Ta-da.
OBS, have you gotten stuck? Why am I still alive? 何これ
何これ
ちょっと待って。